My lord! My lord! What was all that commotion? What, what happened? My lord, please, stay with me. Were you poisoned? Someone! Is anyone there?
Yes, sir.
A doctor! As quickly as you can!
Aye.
My lord, please, my lord. A doctor will be here shortly. Just, please stay with me just a little longer. My lord.
Odilon, you were right. I was stupid. I should have listened. I thought he was my friend, but he wasn't. Not anymore. And because we had once been friends, that made him my greatest threat. Can't breathe. My blood feels like it's made of magma. My throat burns. My skin, it's like it's being eaten away.
Duck.
Who's there? Who's there? Why are you laughing? Answer me! But you're...
That you wouldn't be able to trust anyone.
You're dead.
The worst is yet to come.
Silence!
You could work yourself to the marrow of your bones, and still the people would never look beyond the surface.
I said enough!
Listen, you can hear the scorn in their voices. They're calling you a tyrant, a soulless monster. I know you can hear them.
They are not!
They say you're no better than me. That you're a foolish ruler who cares not for his people. They shout an endless cacophony of discontent.
Shut up. Shut up! I am nothing like you!
Remain a virtuous leader, no matter how bitterly your people despise you. Is your love truly so resolute? No. The virtue blemish was never so selfless. Tell me I'm wrong, slut rat. It is not benevolence that drove you to take the throne, but a thirst for power, for prestige.
Not another word!
Do you know what truly brought you here? You were tired of people looking down on you. You thought you would be treated with respect if you had real power. You wanted more than anything in the world.
Enough already!
You dead your life in the service funds. It was never going to last. Allow me to make a prediction. Soon, very soon, you'll find yourself drifting over to my side. You'll stop caring about people's lives, and for that they will despise you. You'll lose any last bit of sense left in you. Push everyone away until you're all alone. And then you'll succumb completely to madness's grip.
Stop talking!
You don't have what it takes to be the lord of the land.
I said stop talking!
The people are the only ones who aren't on your side. You have enemies everywhere you look. The nobles represent you as one of them. They'll try to drag you off your throne by any means. Your aides and servants will turn on you. And this will be the last time you ride in the claws of poison.
Again and again and again and again. Never will you stop being the target of others' loathing.
Or will you continue to act like some kind of power or virtue, never wavering in your faith in others? How long will your benevolence last? In the face of dozens of attempts on your life.
Shut your goddamn mouth!
It would be easy, boy. Because you came from the slums, you'll face even more, even greater threats than I.
Say, Islands!
I bet that just terrifies you. Drains all the hope from your heart. Well, there's an easy solution.
King! I heard enough of your goddamn noise!
You're already afflicted with a great curse, boy. A curse known as the Lord of the Land. It's a curse from which you will never be free. And hence, you will never be free from me. However much you may come to regret taking that throne, you can't give it back now. It's not something you can simply hand off to someone else. Nor a duty from which you can simply relieve yourself. That anguish and agony and misery brings you every day. Will follow you all the way to your grave.
Just stop, damn it! Keep your babbling to yourself, you damned ghost!
Go on, try and make me. Cover my mouth, why don't you? You can't do it, can you? You're too weak to defeat even a mere spirit.
Shut the hell up!
I know precisely what your future holds, boy. You'll sit on the throne alone. Not a single person at your side. And not even death shall free you from your eternal solitude. For it is not but an empty shell with which you decorate the throne.
Stop talking!
Do you hear that, slum rat?
Someone's coming for you. The question is, do they act out of genuine concern? Can you be sure what they give you is safe to drink? Perhaps they need to finish you off. If a simple drunk like you could get his hands on poison, how easy do you think it would be for the Lord's Council to procure a substance hundreds of times more potent? Hell, he wouldn't even have to go through the trouble. You're no more a threat than an insect with its wings torn off. A feeble woman or a crippled slave would plunge a knife into your trembling spine with little effort. Behold, the former mastermind of the revolution. All this suffering, you brought it on yourself by trying to defy your fate.
the nightmares continued. Again and again and again they haunted me. Every time I drifted off to sleep, there floated Barnier's severed head, cursing me, mocking me, laughing at me from every direction. And as he said I would, I soon began to hear the people as well, endlessly condemning me, deriding me, berating me. I tried to convince myself it was all in my head, but Gratian's words told me otherwise. All my old companions called me Jacopo the Betrayer, he had said. I wasn't sure how much time had passed. Was it a day? Was it night? Was I sane enough to tell the difference? Was I even still alive? I had no idea. It was always the same refrain, every time he appeared. You can't trust anyone. Your friends will all eventually betray you, try to drag you off your throne. Your people have no faith in you. Everyone despises you. I couldn't even tell anymore. Were those Barnier's words? Or were they coming from the depths of my own mind? All I knew for certain was that there was no escaping them, and that they were slowly eating away at my spirit. My breathing was labored, and my entire body felt like it was on a spit, being roasted in the eternal flames of hell. And at other times, I couldn't stop shivering. I felt like I had been tossed into a frozen river. Doctors, guards, Odilon, I couldn't tell who was who, but there always seemed to be someone standing by my side. The faceless shadows were anything but comforting, though, for Barnier's ghost constantly reminded me of the threat they posed. I quite certainly wailed like a terrified child. Everyone seemed like a danger. Even if Gratian couldn't be trusted. Who was to say that the doctors weren't sneaking poison into my medicine? Who was to say Odilon didn't plan to silently remove me? I didn't know who I could trust. Or maybe Barnier was right. I couldn't trust anyone. Still he cackled. Still he cursed right by my ear. There isn't a soul left in this world who won't betray you, he whispered, laughing away. My fever seems to be receding. I can finally move again. It looks like I survived. Hey, is anyone there? Where are you, Odilon? Anyone?
Justin.
Lord Barnier, I'm so glad you're feeling well again.
Thanks.
We've all been worried sick.
Huh.
Lord Barnier?
What?
Pardon, you just seem, not quite yourself. But after all that's happened, I suppose That shouldn't be a surprise.
How long was I out?
3 days, sir. Poison kept you bedridden for 3 full days and nights.
That long, huh? Then I've got a lot of work to catch up on.
Yes, sir. But I implore you take things easy for the next few days.
When do I ever have time for that? Now, where's Odilon? I haven't seen him. Go fetch him for me.
He is presently.
Don't tell me he's not around. Where the hell did that old man get off to?
No, he's here. Please, Lord Barnier, try to remain calm. Odilon was...
Odilon!
Lord, is that you? Thank heavens. You are well.
Forget about me. What happened?
My deepest apologies.
I don't want an apology. I want you to tell me why this happened.
Please, my lord, distress not over this simple old man.
Oh, why, Odilon? The Odilon I know would never deign to put himself out in front of a gang of slum dwellers.
Please, Lord Barnier, try to remain calm. Odilon was struck in the head with a stone and is in critical condition.
The following day, that is, the day after Gratian poisoned me, a dozen people from the slums showed up at my manor gates. They cried in angry protest against the Lord, demanding change. Evidently, Gratian hadn't kept word of my deception to himself, so in addition to the other complaints, they shouted that I was a fake, that I wasn't actually nobility. They threatened to reveal my secret if I didn't do something about their living conditions. As the commotion dragged on through the day, people within the manor started getting restless. Eventually, it got to be so tense that Odilon stood near a window, told them that they needed to cease immediately, and that if they wouldn't, they would be charged with lèse-majesté, which is when he was hit in the head with a rock and lost consciousness. God, you damn fool.
I'm quite pleased to see you have recovered enough to shout with such vigor. Now I needn't worry.
Wait, slow down. Worry about what?
Regrettably, it would seem old age has bested me. I think the stone must have gotten my eyes. For I cannot see you there, my lord.
I'm right here. Please, don't give up on me. You're stronger than a stupid rock. Give it a few days, and you'll be back to perfect health. Even if your sight doesn't come back, you can still do your job. I can tell you everything I see. Come on, Odilon.
My sincerest apologies.
Please. Why would you even go try and talk them down yourself anyway? Whatever happened to acting only in your own benefit? What did you have to gain from not having them executed on the spot? They were nothing in front of the Lord's manor. You had no reason to bother warning them. There was no question they were committing a serious offense. Why didn't you just do what you would always do? And then I would argue with you about it like I always do. What the hell got into you, Odilon?
I suppose I must have softened up somewhat.
Excuse me?
You cared so much about your friends in the slums, my lord, that I took pity on them. Old age seems to weaken more than just the body. How truly inconvenient.
Odilon.
Nevertheless, I am glad this old body held out until today.
What are you?
I would not have been able to pass on peacefully had I not seen you recovered from the poison, my lord.
Stop it. Don't talk like that. I told you, you're stronger than one damn rock. I'm your lord, damn it! My word is the law!
It is with great regret that I must defy my lord's command.
Enough. I mean it. You stop this right now.
Oh. My warnings against being swayed by your emotions remain unheeded, I see.
And who the hell's fault do you think that is, huh?
You are the Lord. The sooner you learn to control that blaze, the smoother your future endeavors will proceed. Do not allow your days to be cut short as well. In a moment's weakness, I implore you, always remain strong and ever high of heart, so that none may drag you down. With death upon me, my hands shaking dreadfully.
I didn't think anything scared you.
It terrifies me to know I will be leaving you alone. Before I was able to teach you everything. I cannot bear knowing that I have forsaken you at but the onset of a great and perilous journey. There is so much more I have yet to pass on to you that you will need in order to become a great ruler. So much.
Then don't go. Stay and teach me. You said you wanted to fulfill your duties as a consul. That you didn't want to die unless you had accomplished something worthwhile. You can't tell me you're satisfied with this. Odilon. Odilon? Odilon. Don't do this. You can't. Say something! Please! Say anything! Tell me it's all a cruel prank. Odilon!
Lord Barnier.
Odilon is dead. Make arrangements for a funeral.
Yes, Lord.
And what happened with the riot?
He fled soon after striking Odilon, but wagered to return to the city.
Thank you.
Would you like something done about them, Lord?
I would. They need to understand that their actions have consequences. They slandered their lord and murdered his consul. We can't just let them walk away from that now, can we?
Then we will have them all arrested and thrown in dungeon.
I said there would be consequences. If we just slap them on the wrists, they will come back and do it again. They'll mock me, condescend me, ridicule me, keep making a mess of my home. Tell me, do you feel safe serving a lord whose people neither respect nor fear him? Would you have any admiration for a leader like that? Have them executed. Since Odilon isn't here to advise it, I, Lord Barnier, officially order every spark of opposition is to be snuffed out. You find every last one of the rats and relieve them of their heads. And then put them on display in the city square. Make sure they know damn well exactly what awaits. For anyone who opposes Lord Barnier!
Yes, Lord.
Odilon's blood was on my hands. My inexperience and naivete had gotten him killed. He had warned me again and again that my people had no love for me. But I ignored him, foolishly believing in friendship. Letting Gratian into my house, and ultimately getting Odilon murdered. My trust didn't belong with Gratian, or my old slum companions. It belonged with Odilon. I should have realized so much sooner. that he was the only one and only person I left I could trust. Men with whom I'd spent years had likely participated in that riot. Men whose names I knew, whose faces I recognized, with whom I had spoken to on countless occasions. But I felt not even pang of regret in ordering their deaths. I didn't reminisce about the good old days. Those days were gone, irrelevant, meaningless. I felt no sympathy for the people they were leaving behind, nor did I so much as bat an eye when I saw their bodies lined up before me. Compassion bred weakness made you vulnerable. I had to excise every last bit of it. It was the last thing I needed, for I was the Lord, Jean-Francois Barnier.
Hey, look at all those heads. Justin.
Supposedly, they were beheaded for trying to assassinate the Lord.
Seems like a lot of folks for an assassination attempt.
Who can say what happened up yonder?
Alice.
Have you been down to the square today?
Cristina.
I have! My heavens, I almost passed out at the sight of it!
Why would those stupid thugs try to go after the Lord anyway?
There's been whisperings around town. They say he was actually born in the slums and isn't noble at all.
Wasn't that just his cover while he was hiding from the phony Barnier?
I certainly hope that's the case. But either way, it's probably best to keep quiet about the topic.
I'll say. I doubt he'll do anything as bad as the phony, but it still brings back old memories. Bad memories.
And things were getting to be so pleasant, too.
Is this some kind of sick joke? Fucking Crashin's right at the very front. And the other guys he used to hang out with at the pub? Did you kill them all, Jacopo? You killed all your old friends. Why? Well, Jacopo. You would never hurt anyone. What happened to you? You went through hell with these guys. How could you just fucking murder them? Have you really changed that much? You have, Jacopo. You've become a completely different man. No. You're long dead. You died in that goddamn revolution. The Jacopo I know no longer exists. All that's left is Lord Barnier. Everyone, they're all gone. You, Morgana, Jaren, Crashian. Every last one. What the fuck, man?
I appointed a new consul shortly after Odilon's death, but he was an ineffectual, short-sighted oaf. And to top it off, he had a tendency to simply nod and agree with anyone and everyone rather than express any opinions of his own. If anything, having him around made my job more difficult. But it wasn't as though there was anyone else competent enough to take the position, and relieving him so soon would come with its own crop of problems. So I ended up using him to shuffle papers and handle other menial work while I took care of the actual decision-making. My first order of business was to establish clearly defined rules and punishments. Speaking ill of the Lord, spreading false rumors about his lineage, creating art of any form which could be interpreted as defamatory. These were all considered acts of lèse-majesté, and in the most severe cases, were potentially punishable by death. I started seeing results almost immediately. The people stopped claiming I was fake, that I came from the slums. The Barnier name became a symbol of fear once again. My renovation efforts proceeded as originally planned. The city flourished as a commerce hub, attracting merchants and patrons and visitors from near and afar. Some fields had to be removed as well to accommodate the expansion of the marketplace, but they were hardly producing anything worthwhile to begin with. If farmers wanted to keep farming, they were free to move elsewhere. I scaled down the size of the slums while scaling up security. Lacking leadership, what little remained of the peacekeeper group had turned into a gang of unruly thugs. So rather than keeping the peace, they largely made things worse. In response, I forbade the formation of unauthorized organizations within the slums. And with all that in place, the city was a much safer and more orderly, and the economy significantly stronger than it had been under my predecessor's rule. However, those unfortunate enough to miss riding the wave of economic growth found themselves falling ever further behind their neighbors. The ravine between the poor and the wealthy had become nigh uncrossable. My own manor was hardly a bastion of safety either. Not only was I rapidly enacting new policy, laws were stricter and punishments harsher than before. So many were, to put it lightly, more than a little displeased with me. I'd gone through several food tasters, and just as many direct assassination attempts. It wasn't particularly difficult to avoid major incidents by simply suspecting everyone, but I could seldom relax as a result. In time, I came to prefer solitude. Well, not so much as prefer, as require it for my own safety. Odilon's death left me with more than just solitude, though. The phantom slipped free from my dreams, appearing from my shadow whenever I was alone, laughing endlessly.
What did I tell you, boy? You're controlling them with fear, just as I did. It's a wonderful feeling, is it not? The look of terror on a man's face is the most exquisite thing in all the world.
Silence, you.
Stand by the window and listen. You can hear them all the way from the bottom of the hill. Bemoaning the great and terrible Lord Barnier.
Be quiet.
And you know who they're fighting about. It's not me any longer. It's you, boy.
Shut up, goddammit.
Don't fool yourself. You're no better than me.
Enough! I said silence, spirit!
A bit more frustration there.
Enough! I said silence, spirit!
Good.
I am nothing like you!
Is that so? Then tell me, boy, how do we differ?
I don't hold those disgusting banquets for one. Nor do I torture slaves for my own sick pleasure.
By your command, hundreds of slaves are being worked so hard it will surely suffer their deaths. How's that any different than murder or torture?
Their deaths aren't meaningless. They're giving their lives for the good of this city.
In your eyes, perhaps. But how many will take your side?
You have no idea what you're talking about.
If the people were truly satisfied with your rule, you wouldn't be holed up in this room all the time.
Ugh.
You have no one you can run to, no one to offer you companionship. What better proof of your tyrannical ways than your own isolation?
Shut your damn mouth!
You wretched man. How many times have you been betrayed? Have you found anyone you can trust after all your old friends prove that you can't even count on them?
Oh, for God's sake, quit babbling already!
Solitude will be your constant companion for the rest of your days. And should you let your guard down even for a moment, know that 100 men lie in wait, ready to plunge their blades into your back. Your attendants dream of the day they can see poison past your taster.
Shut up!
Ah, you poor pathetic child. How much misery and stress have you brought upon yourself because you let your dreams run amok? Clawing your way up into a world much, much too big for you.
Be gone, damn you!
Justin.
My lord, I heard a huge crash.
Do I have to tell you to stay out of my chambers?
Forgive me. But I was afraid you might be in.
I can take care of myself, damn it! Don't make me say it again.
Yes, sir.
To hell with you! We're nothing alike! I'm making their lives better, not worse! I am not a tyrant! I started relying on alcohol to rid myself of the phantom. When I was drunk enough, I didn't have to see anything. I didn't dream, I didn't have nightmares. And most importantly, I didn't have to think. There were times I couldn't be sure whether I was in my right mind. There was times I was so panicked that I started to scream my throat raw. But there was never a time I was safe showing that weakness. I knew from experience it would only put me at risk. I couldn't complain to anyone. I couldn't ask anyone for help. I couldn't believe in anyone. Odilon's dying words came back to me again and again. Stay strong and ever high of heart. What did it even mean to be high of heart, though? Certainly I had nothing to be proud of. Not having spent my early years as a filthy, impoverished slum rat, not having spearheaded a violent revolution and stolen the throne, not this farce of a tale about me secretly being noble. I hadn't been raised to be a lord. I hadn't been taught to have a proud, noble spirit. That was likely what Odilon had wanted to impart upon me. That nature of a ruler. People automatically respect a man who is truly dignified and noble. They instinctively admire him, kneeling out of wholehearted honor. And that's what makes a true king. Not knowing the first thing about how to be that kind of man, I fell back on the only alternative that came to mind. Forcing them to kneel beneath my iron fist. 2 years under Odilon's tutelage was nowhere near long enough to instill in me the natural nobility that I needed. Thus I was left to be tormented by this accursed phantom whenever alone, and play the ruthless ruler elsewise. In my attempts to mask the fear of lurking within, I grew louder and more ostentatiously contemptuous. Practically every other word out of my mouth was an insult. The old Jacopo was long gone, and Lord Barnier had crept in to take his place. It was gradual enough that I hardly realized it was happening. But now, all I saw in the mirror was the face of a cruel, wretched man. I even came to hate my old self. Think him foolish. What kind of a vapid, nebulous dream was, I want to go out into the world? What basis did I have for thinking myself any more significant than any other kid on the streets? And where the hell did I get the idea of having influence meant having freedom? I could barely even take care of myself. Where did I get off on thinking a little power would let me protect the people I cared about? And what about now? What, fundamentally, did I even want now? What did I have to protect? Nothing. I was too far gone. There was no light to be found, no matter how far I marched this path. And only a bottomless abyss waited at my back. I had left myself with nowhere to run to. Before I knew it, nearly 4 years had passed since the revolution. By then, not a soul dared defy my will. I was surrounded by people who supported my every decision. Few of them genuinely agreed with me on everything, obviously. But no one could deny how much growth I had brought about, and so long as I continued to produce results, I would continue to have their outward support. As a trading hub, the city flourished, but the citizens were less than thrilled about the work I was doing. The poorest, especially, seemed to hold a great deal of enmity for me. But I was reaching the point where I couldn't manage on the support of the upper crust alone. Simply dumping sacks of coin into the streets wouldn't end poverty, though, and increasing taxes on important goods could undermine everything I had built up. Lacking an actual solution, all I could do was work to make them feel like they were better off than they actually were. Fortunately, it was much easier to pull the wool over the middle and lower classes' eyes than it was to better educated upper class. I started by building public recreational facilities, which citizens had priority access to. And then I turned my eyes towards religion. About a year earlier, as part of the city's expansion, a bridge was built across the river that served as the city's effective border. A church had still not been established in that new district, so I wanted to build one and gather a following. Conveniently, though, my predecessor had been in the process of building a second manor on the other side of the river, and with a little bit of work, it could easily be repurposed into a church. Once people started making use of the church, it would be simple to win their favor by making myself known as a generous patron. Faith was the ultimate binder for the uneducated, and history showed time and again that religion could be a powerful tool in the right hands. But the high foreigner and merchant population in the city meant that no one particular religion had managed to take hold. The merchants especially tended to develop their own individual philosophies over the years, with few caring much for higher powers. That was a possible explanation for why the church had never much sway in this region. There was, therefore, a chance the whole thing would just be a colossal waste of money. However, I had recently caught wind of a curious rumor. There was a nun serving at a small church at the far edge of town, who people had come to refer to as the Saintess.
Kyle.
Marie, come here, Sister Marie.
Your voice is kind of low, Kyle. Kyle? Is she there?
You are really quiet, Kyle.
Yeah, she's there, but yeah, it's really quiet.
Is it better?
Yeah, you get now.
Much.
Marie! Come here, Sister Marie!
Oh, what is it?
We picked some flowers for you. Take a look. They're so pretty.
Oh, why, thank you.
Turn off your gain a little bit more, Alice.
Oh, why, thank you. They're beautiful. Get it away from me!
She actually fell for it!
Hey now! How many times do I have to tell you it's not nice to trick people?
You're too much fun to tease, Sister Marie.
That's hardly an excuse. It's still wrong. I'm your big sister here, so you need to treat me like...
Ah! There's a bug on your dress!
What? No way! Where is it? Get it off! Someone get it off me!
Just kidding! There's nothing there.
Get back here, you little rascals!
So her name's Marie. Not what I quite envisioned of the so-called Saintess.
She seeks an orphan to take into her care and offers food for the hungry, shelter for the homeless, and rest for the weary.
And where exactly do the funds for that come from?
She covers all herself, supposedly.
I highly doubt she has that kind of money just sitting around. Look at the building. It's practically falling apart. Wait a second. I get it. She makes use of all the church's resources to fund her charity.
That is correct, my lord.
Is she really so foolish as to not realize that's unsustainable?
The locals are quite fond of her. The same cannot be said of priests and other nuns. Her work is causing them great financial stress.
I'm not surprised.
Shall I summon her?
No, don't bother. I've seen more than enough.
Yes, my lord.
What? You have something to say?
No, my lord. I simply find it curious you would take the time to come all the way out here where you have far more important work to attend to. Not that I would ever imply your judgment is anything other than impeccable, my lord.
I just thought this Saintess might be someone I knew.
Pardon?
But I was mistaken. They don't call her the Saintess because she does God's work. They just call her that because she's a damned goody two-shoes. So much for words having actual meaning. Christ.
I see. Lord Barnier,
It's nothing. I'm heading back now.
yes, sir. Kyle?
Ah! Marie, the giant man's here!
Come on now, be polite.
Duck?
Good day, Marie.
Samurai Jack voice.
Good day, Marie. The kids seem to be doing quite well.
You have no idea. So well, in fact, that this little hooligan found himself a whole handful of bugs. And goodness, he about scared me out of my skin.
A little mischief is a good thing. Their smiles wouldn't be half as bright at any other orphanage.
I'm not so sure about that.
In any case, here's what I earned this week.
No. I keep telling you, that's not necessary.
Turn again up just a smidge, Alice.
It's all the way up.
Oh.
But you do accept tithes, no?
Yes, but still.
I know it's hardly enough to cover what you need. But please.
No, that's not what I mean. It's your money. You should use it for yourself.
I have nothing to use it on. You'll put it to much better use than I ever could.
All right. Thank you. But try not to work yourself too hard, okay?
I promise.
Goodness, you really do make a lot in a week, huh? I didn't realize carpentry paid so well.
Indeed. I'm fortunate enough to have found good work.
Maybe I'll leave the church and take up carpentry myself. Just kidding.
You kid, but you would do quite well for yourself. You're strong enough to carry me, at least.
That took every last bit of strength I had.
James.
Who is that man? Even with all the foreigners we get here, I've never seen anyone who looks like that.
He's a frequent visitor to this church, though he does not appear to come for the charity.
An Oriental, perhaps.
Oriental?
My former consul told me of them once. Vagrants from the Far East who supposedly look much like that man.
How curious.
He may be able to fool the nun, but I know damn well no carpenter in the world makes that much in a week. There's something fishy about him. Look into that man. Tell me anything you find out about him.
Yes, Lord Barnier.
Now I'm heading back. In addition to the renovations for the church and gathering intel on the Far Eastern man, I made sure to keep an eye out for any unusual rumors or happenings outside the city's borders. Of all reports I received, the one that caught my attention was word of a witch who lived by a lake. This lakeside witch supposedly had miraculous powers, allowing her to cure any ailment. And the effect was transmitted through her blood. This wasn't the first time I had heard of the witch. An elderly woman who prepared and sold medicinal herbs. But I hadn't realized she also traded in miracles. It sounded like a bunch of snake oil to me, but she had allegedly cured a deathly ill young girl and started to make quite a name for herself. But on top of all that, they also said the sound of the witch's first cry had ended a years-long drought in the village where she was born. This doesn't bode well.
Why not, my lord?
Try using your damn head once in a while, would you? Two competing denominations forming so close together. You don't see how that could lead to all sorts of headaches. The objective is to unify the people under a single banner, to which I then pledge my support and earn their favor, but all that becomes moot if their fate turns towards this witch. The people do love their heroes and miracles, after all.
It's quite an attractive proposition, I must say.
I'm mocking them, you buffoon.
I beg your pardon.
The chances of it growing into something actually worth worrying about are slim, but better to snuff the flame out before it spreads than sit back and hope it burns itself out.
Shall I deliver an order for her to cease operation then?
That would be best. Actually, no. I'll deal with this personally. You just keep your mouth shut and do exactly as you're ordered. Nothing more, nothing less. Understood?
Yes, lord.
To start, summon the man from the church. A few days later, I was standing face to face with the man in my audience room. He seemed much less personable in person than when I had seen him with the nun. Stone-faced, cold, and faintly smelled of blood. Not that I could actually smell blood, but there was an animalistic air emanating from him. That much I had expected, though. I knew before summoning him that he was anything but a respectable man. I take it you're the Oriental man who's been buzzing around a local church of late?
That would be me, yes. What of it?
Who do you think you're talking to, you impudent rat? Show some damned respect.
Apologies. I am not very familiar with the local customs or language.
Very well, then. You're fortunate I'm such an understanding man. Now, for the reason I called you here. You're the one who killed that cart full of slaves 4 years ago, aren't you?
So, you know about that?
I wasn't actually sure it was you, but now I have confirmation. Since then, one slave of Far Eastern origin has remained unaccounted for. I take it that would be you.
That's right.
You made one hell of a mess out there.
Am I here to be punished?
That depends on how our talk goes.
If you think I'm going back to being a slave, you're fooling yourself.
I don't need any more damn slaves, and I certainly don't want you as one. You're obviously not finding any respectable work being an ex-slave, so I take it you're still in the business of getting your hands dirty, are you not? I assume you're playing a cat burglar or something, living off whatever you can swipe from the nearest unlucky bastard.
Correct.
Isn't it comical, then, that you would choose God's sacred house to stretch your legs in, you filthy dog?
I absolutely agree.
I thought that would get a reaction out of you, but it seems you've got no bite in you today. Never mind. Let's get down to business. You're going to help me out with a little something I'm working on.
Help you with what, exactly?
Something that's going to make me a lot of money. And if you lend a hand, I'll make sure you're well taken care of. Along with that church you're so fond of, and the nun you've taken a liking to. That nun of yours has made quite the name for herself. Out in the city proper, people have started calling her the Saintess.
They are right about that. She is.
Ha! The commoners love their heroes and saints. They eat that rubbish right up. But saint or not, you can't simply create food from nothing. Her work is causing financial troubles for the church, is it not?
It is, yes.
If you help me with this, I'm offering you an entirely new church, one where she has complete control to do as she wishes. She'll make it into the biggest church in the city. She'll be able to help even more people, which should surely please her.
What would you have me do?
Jumping at the first whiff of scraps. You really are a dog, aren't you?
I don't like conversations that overstay their welcome.
Fair enough. Then let's get to business. Not far from here lives a witch whose blood has the power to cause miracles.
Miracle blood? Sounds like a sham to me.
You never know. They say the sound of her first cry brought rain to the land where she was born, saving the whole village from drought. And they say her blood has the power to cure any disease. I'll worry about the veracity of the rumors later. Right now, all I want is for you to capture her and bring her to me.
Explain something to me, Lord. You said that if I helped you, the nun would be able to save more people than she does now. So how does capturing this witch accomplish that?
I'm glad you know how to listen, dog. We'll be turning the blood into a miracle elixir, which she will then distribute to patrons of the church. In exchange for tithes, of course.
Selling it then.
Selling isn't quite the right word, but if that's how you want to think of it, by all means. The commoners loved Saintess, handing out an all-powerful miracle medicine. They'll lap it up.
And in turn, you will make a fortune.
Exactly. Money I can use to support her church. It'll be a boon to the city's economy as well. A single witch's freedom is all it'll cost for everyone here to come out happy. So what'll it be? Will you help? Or will I have to?
I'll help. I have no reason not to.
Decisive and a good listener. Excellent.
Once I've captured the witch, where do I take her?
I have a mansion set aside where your nun can run her church. There's an observation tower on the grounds. The witch will be kept locked up there to ensure we have a constant supply of blood.
Okay. When do you want me to get her?
You're just chomping at the bit now, aren't you? I thought you'd hesitate at least a little, but I guess it was foolish of me to presume how to understand how a killer's mind works. All the resources I put into investigating you and everyone close to you were wasted, it would seem. Do you even have a conscience?
Don't act like you're any different.
I assure you, I have a conscience. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't necessary for the growth of the city.
No, I mean you're as much a murderer as me. You would never come up with a scheme like this if your hands were clean.
That's right. You're nothing but a murderer. How deep has this blood seeped into your hands? How many have you killed, claiming their lives necessary sacrifices? And how many more will die for your ambition?
Silent spirit.
That poor witch. Blessed with the power to perform miracles, only to win her the attention of a villainous lord.
It must be done. I don't have to explain myself to you. It's not like the old hag has any long left to live anyway. What the hell is villainous about having her spend her final days for the greater good of the city? So many lives will be improved at the cost of only one.
You keep telling yourself that, boy. But what you're doing is no different than my banquets. You're cut from the same cloth as the man standing before you. And the same cloth as me.
Be gone, phantom. Watch your mouth, dog. Don't you dare insinuate I would ever condescend to your level. Damn it. That's the first time he's shown up with someone else around. At least you behaved yourself today. I'm pretty sure you're smarter than most people I deal with. and you won't betray me either. Who knows how much longer he'll live, though. Stay. Don't touch it until I say so. Oh, quit pouting at me like that. You're the Lord's dog. Stand tall and proud. All right, here you are. Drink up. Looks like it's safe. I swear. So much work to just get myself a damn drink of water. When I heard about the Saintess, I thought it might be you, but it was someone else. I never did get around to resuming the search after Odilon passed. There's no one around I can trust with such a sensitive task. Though it's probably for the best if I never do find you. We can't go back to the way we were before. Not that there's much chance you're even still alive. If, by some strange chance, you are still alive, what would you think of the man I've become? Several days later than originally planned, the Far Eastern man finally arrived at the mansion. I had arranged to meet him with one of the uppermost level of the observation tower on the church grounds. About time. The man appeared before me, a burlap sack slung over his shoulder. I had ordered he use the sack, afraid he might be foolish enough to actually drag the old woman all the way here.
There's your witch.
He threw the bag on the ground, causing the woman inside to let out a muffled grunt. It didn't sound like an elderly woman's voice, though. This stench. Tell me you didn't harm her, dog. I smell blood.
You only instructed me not to kill her. Mistakes were made. Limbs were lost.
Damn it.
I cleaned up all the blood I got on me. No one suspected anything.
He's even farther gone than I imagined. I should have been clearer in my instructions. Though I suppose it doesn't matter much. She's not going to live long either way.
That you were able to immediately recognize it as the smell of blood says quite a bit, Lord. You have killed before, haven't you?
Enough yapping. She is alive, yes?
Of course.
Fighting back a sigh, I tossed my gaze from the man to the bag. I felt slightly sorry for the woman, but the feeling didn't last long. I had seen too many bloodied, mangled bodies, both dead and alive, to be fazed by one more. He crouched down to untie the bag. And a young girl came tumbling free. It can't be. As soon as I saw her, I knew exactly who the girl was. It had been 4 years, but no length of time could swipe from my memory those patches on her face, or those breathtaking golden eyes. But why? How? What was she doing inside the bag? Why had I ordered her captured? How could I have done that? Morgana. She was as pale as death, shaking visibly. Confusion seized me, a cloud of swirling darkness forming before my eyes. The first thought that had come to mind was that he had gotten the wrong person. I had only ordered her captured because I thought the witch by the lake an old woman. If I had known she was a young girl, let alone her, I would have never given the command. But those thoughts led nowhere. I was simply trying to avoid facing reality, trying to place the blame on anyone but myself. I couldn't take back what had already been done. I couldn't change it. There she was, the girl who had once won my affection, lying on a small ball on the cold stone with an arm missing. It didn't matter how we had gotten here, or what I felt about her. There was no fixing what I had done.